All right, good morning, everybody. Official weigh-ins about to get underway for UFC Fight Night 223. Song Yadong, Ricky Simone in a main event. Sounds like one of our headliners, Song Yadong, will be first off. Brendan Fitzgerald in the house to handle all the MC duties today. Doing okay, yeah, so far, yeah. Josh Hernandez, what's going on? Scott McCrate in the house, always doing well, always supporting. Appreciate you, Mr. Scott McCrate. T. Nile in the house. Final instructions being given to the fighters. Colostrum, yeah, I'll be there. Well, I'll be at the UFC fights on Saturday. I am in Vegas this week. I was there last week. I was just hanging out with my family, but I will be there this week. I'll probably have that. If I'm being honest with you, I'll probably have that BKFC pay-per-view fired up as well. That's a pretty solid little lineup. Pay-per-view, which I know we all enjoy the subscription price of BKFC, but it's worth it. It's a good one. As far as me, Denial, I'm thinking Ricky. Okay, let's see what you got now. Under three rounds, I got Song. Yeah, I mean it's that nasty striking from Song early, that grappling, that wrestling advantage. That's the big one, right? As far as sleeper fights, oh yeah, the strawweight title fight. We'll get that out there. As far as sleeper fights, I think the one that I think all of us kind of in the media are looking forward to is Cody Durden and Charles Johnson. Like, hey man, I'm a big fan of the flyweight division. Love, I feel like a lot of, all action fights in the flyweight division. But those two dudes have been talking a lot of trash to each other. They've been going back and forth a little bit. So I think that's the one to look out for. Obviously, that's on the prelims. Main card. If I had to pick a main card for the night, I'd probably say like Julian Erosa, Fernando Padilla. Looks like it should be all action as well. So we'll see. Luke's weight cut. Interesting. T-Bone, how we doing, sir? I'm doing good. Yeah, I just saw that Cara France Albazi fight. Like, that sounds like a main event. That's a big fight right there. That's a big fight. All right. Let's get this thing underway. I can see off to my left. Looks like Song Yadong will be first. And then we'll chat some more.
We're ready.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to the weigh-ins. First to the scale this morning is one half of the main event, Song Yadong. Official weight 136 pounds for Song Yadong.
Thank you.
Next to the scale, Trey Waters. Official weight 171 pounds for Trey Waters. Next to the scale, Martin Budai.
Right here.
Official weight 265 pounds for Martin Budai.
Thank you.
Next to the scale, Stephanie Egger. Official weight 135 pounds for Stephanie Egger. Next to the scale, Caio Bohalio. Official weight 185 and a half for Caio Bohalio. Next to the scale, Waldo Cortez Acosta. Official weight 258 pounds for Waldo Cortez Acosta. Next to the scale, Julian Arosa. Official weight 145 and a half for Julian Arosa. Next to the scale, Haley Cowan. Official weight 137 and a half for Haley Cowan. Next to the scale, Fernando Padilla. Official weight 145 and a half for Fernando Padilla. Next to the scale, Cody Durden. Official weight 126 pounds for Cody Durden. Next to the scale, Adolfo Vieira. Official weight 186 pounds for Rodolfo Vieda. Next to the scale, Irina Alexeyeva. Official weight 140 pounds for Irina Alexeyeva. Next to the scale, Marcus McGee. Official weight 140 pounds for Marcus McGee. Next to the scale, Ricky Simone. Official weight 136 pounds for Ricky Simone.
Okay, so a bit of an interesting start. Song Yadong, first man to the scale. Ricky Simone just weighed in as well, so our main event is official. Two pretty significant misses. Haley Cowan came in at 137 and a half. Again, we're just under 10 minutes into this 2-hour window, so you kind of wonder what exactly happened there. That she shut it down already. Was that a doctor call? Was that a team call? You also saw Irina Alexeyeva come in at 140 pounds. And then kind of shadow boxing on the scale. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess a weight miss is a weight miss, but you kind of like to see a little bit of, my bad, I'm sorry, that was on me. Oof. All right, let's see what's going on. Oh. Cody Merrow in the house. MMA Jesus, that's too funny. I saw the same thing Cody Merrow did. They gonna jump in here and call him a POS. I did talk to Cody actually about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. He was still down in the American Top Team, and he was staying at Horiguchi Hall, the dorms that they have there. It was kind of funny because I did kind of tell him, I know you like to stir the pot a little bit. And he said, I have toned down a little bit. Give me some credit. So, Zach. Yeah, I'm putting that one squarely on Cold Coffee's shoulders. Yeah, Colossus, it's weird, right? They don't, like, is 145 even a division? Like, I just get the feeling that once Nunes hangs it up, they just kill 145. Because, like, it's like they don't have the ability to add fighters. I mean, there's a reason they haven't. All right, looks like maybe we're getting back to action already. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so still 8 fighters to go out of 22, but we got 14 in early. Song Yadong, 136. Ricky Simone, 136. Kyle Bohayo, 185.5. Still waiting on Mihail Oleksiejczuk. Adolfo Vieira, 186. So if there were any concerns about him, I know he's had some weight issues, some withdrawal issues, but he's good to go, 186. Junior Rosa, Fernando Padilla, both 145.5. We're already getting some heavyweights in. Waldo Cortes Acosta and Martin Boudet, each electing not to induce the Andre Arlovski rule of heavyweights not coming in before 10:30. 140. What's up, Ishmael? How you doing? Blood Money MMA. No canceled fights yet. We did get Arina Alexieva at 140. Her opponent, Stephanie Egger, did already weigh in at 135 as well. Gotta imagine that's a 30% fine. That's a pretty egregious weight miss. Haley Cowan did miss at 137.5 as well. Still waiting on Jamie Lynn Horth to weigh in. So 2 early, fairly significant weight misses. And that's kind of fighter safety number 1, right? So when there's health and safety involved, I guess this kind of goes by the wayside. But I don't know, man. I think it's kind of this unwritten rule in the fighter culture that, like, if you're going to miss, you come miss at like 10:45. Let me know that you struggled. Let me know that you tried. Let me know that you continued doing your best until the very end. When you miss weight at 9:02, I think the opponent takes that as a little bit of disrespect more times than not. T-Bone, I have not. I need to make that happen. I'll try to make that happen today, maybe. West Coast, yeah. I agree. Bring in atom weight. I would love to see atom weight. Joseph Bellotti, which title fight are we looking forward to the most? I mean, it's got to be Jones and Stipe right now. I mean, Aljamain Cejudo is right around the corner, so obviously looking forward to that. That's a banger. But Jones and Stipe. How about Izzy Dricus? Can I put that one on there? The heat that's building up between those two, that fight's got to happen. When champs are like, when a champ calls out a challenger who may or may not be the number 1 contender, because normally the champ goes, hey, it's not my job to book fights. I just take whoever they fight. Whoever they send me, I'm good. And they're right. The champion is right in those regards. But when a champ says, F that guy, and I want this dude so bad, I start getting intrigued. All right, T-Bone, I'm going to make it happen today. Next time we chat, I'll be able to tell you about the experience. I'm going to make that happen. I know them now. That's why I said, like, can I bring it up? Because I do favor Rob in that matchup, but I kind of just want to make it happen. PFL buying Bellator. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's happening. I could be wrong. I was kind of kicking it with the family yesterday, so I didn't really reach out to a lot of people. But I believe that Bellator has been shopping some potential investment, but that just seems weird to me. So I know everybody involved is saying, nobody's talking about it. I saw Mike Kogan post on IG that that's not true. I haven't spoken to anybody directly that wants to comment about it, but I don't know. God, no, I'm not. I'm not surprised Mendez is the favorite. Mendez has the experience in bare knuckle. Granted, not very much experience. It was a pretty short experience, but he did get it. Alvarez does get hit, right? The thing about Alvarez that we love is that he gets hit and he keeps fighting, right? But maybe that's a little bit different in bare knuckle. So I do kind of favor Chad in that matchup, to be honest with you. I favor Chad. I favor Mike over Luke, despite the size difference. You know, not that I'm counting Luke out by any stretch, and not that I'm counting Eddie out by any stretch, but we're talking about favorites, not surefire 100%. Here's who's going to win. No. But with Luke, man, when I think about his best skills, I always think about his kicks. I always think about his submission abilities. Obviously, all that's been taken away. He does have the reach, and maybe his boxing's a little bit better than I thought, but I kind of favor Mike in that matchup. No blood money. This is not Will. Yeah, that first Mendez fight was great. Cody Marrow saying Rob's the only one that could challenge Izzy. Yeah, I agree. I think he's the only one that's on that level right now. Now, we're talking about legit. I mean, under the right circumstances, a guy like a Roman Dolidze, a guy like a guy like a Brendan Allen, a guy like an Andre Muniz, a guy like a Bo Nickel, a guy like a Hamza Shemaev. I mean, under the right circumstances. I think just against Izzy, man, I think you just got to pressure grapple. Like, I mean, size would be a huge difference. But a guy like a Colby Covington, you know, a guy that has relentless grappling and relentless cardio. Like, I need you to pure aggressively grapple for 25 minutes straight. Can you do that? Can you move forward constantly, not allow him to set up at range at all, do not get involved in a striking battle at all, and just grapple nonstop? Chris Camozzi said he bets Luke will break one of both his hands against Perry. Yeah, exactly. There's such a learning curve to bare knuckle. Such a learning curve. Like, you can't just go out there and throw. I mean, I'm not going to say he's juice, but I'm going to say that he's not exactly USADA compliant at the moment. Yeah, they don't have USADA over there. What are the rules for canceling a fight? When does the fighter control saying yes or no? If a fighter misses weight, they don't have to take it at all. They can just duck out if they like. Now, what that means for your paycheck, what that means for your standing in the organization, that's all up for discussion. I feel you now. I like Chad, man. I've always liked Chad. I met Chad, I think, when he was 2-0, early in his career. Back then, he was still Money Shot Mendez, but then he had to change his nickname because the UFC would not allow that. Or I guess it was WC first would not allow that. But yeah, it was actually, God, it's funny, man. I went to Uriah Faber. I went to Team Alpha Male to do an interview for an energy drink company. And while I was there, like, they had a video crew and everything. They just wanted me to handle the interview. They were like, they'll shoot everything, they'll produce everything. Just, can you do an interview? I'm like, yeah. And everybody was talking about Chad Mendez. And while we were there, I was like, can we interview Chad Mendez while I'm here too? And they were like, why? I'm like, well, because from everything I hear, the dude's going to be big time from what I've seen. And interviewed him too. So I like Chad a lot. But I'm not 100% sure he's USADA compliant at this time. Yeah, Raw Dog's pretty funny. I don't know how that one got by. And then the fact that he even walks out to, ooh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, too funny. Yeah, Money Shot was, so apparently, I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever heard their whole story, but like the genesis of it was that he had a great double leg takedown. Obviously, you saw that throughout his career. And so Uriah, I believe, was the one that dubbed him like, yo, that's the money shot. That's the money shot. And, you know, obviously we know the other connotation of Money Shot. So it was Money Shot Mendez, and then they made him get rid of that. What is that? 23 MMA? 23 MMA? Still like 8 fighters left to go, so about a third. MP, what's going on? Yes, sir, Scott. You gotta respect that. I know, Ismail, you love Bruce. It was funny. I am really interested to see if Bobby Green goes through with this thing of legally changing his name to King. Like, I joked about it in my unfortunate interview that didn't have great audio, and then I think it got brought up on Media Day as well. But, you know, if he changes his name to King, like, what's Bruce gonna do with that one? Just I gotta see it. You think about it, those inflections. He's just gotta be like, it's just. I guess he just yells one syllable as loud as he possibly can. I haven't seen Shrinking on Apple TV. I did see an ad for that the other day. Man, check it out. Maybe it's worth watching, Cody. I think the only thing I really watch on Apple is Ted Lasso, which is, in my opinion, the greatest television show ever made. Maybe not, but I like Ted Lasso a lot. I'm bummed that it's going away. I'm giving the official John Morgan recommendation for Ted Lasso for anybody that hasn't watched it. Like Goldberg's spear. It was, bro. All right, so Shrinking is good. I have to check that out. Ooh, Entourage was a pretty good show. I did enjoy that one. I watched all that. I watched Entourage till the end. Enjoyed that one. Andre Touchy Feely. That was a Megan O'Leary created nickname, if I remember the story on that one. Oscar says, are there frequent difficulty in fighters making weight in men's bantamweight, more women's featherweight fighters trying to cut weight just to get a fight? Statistically, I don't know. Statistically, I don't know if there's more weight misses in women's bantamweight. Obviously, today, that was very much an issue. No, I don't think so, to be honest with you. I mean, women's featherweight, maybe they would be more comfortable at 45, but I think those fighters in their optimal condition are at 35. Now, you know, reality of the situation with women fighters is, you know, monthly cycles and that sort of thing, and how that affects it. I mean, that's a reality. You know, you've got whether that's involved here or not, you don't know, but it is. You know, female fighters will tell you it's a problem. It's a reality. It's a biological issue. Your just body, you won't shed water weight at that point. So, you know, I know a lot of dudes get uncomfortable and don't enjoy talking about it, but it's a reality of the situation that can affect cuts. But statistically speaking, over time, that's a good question. I would actually like to see that, but I don't think it. Ooh, Californication, that was a good one too. Weeds, I watched Weeds, that was good. Californication was a very good. That was a very underrated. I didn't watch that one live. I watched that one afterwards. And it was good. I binge watched the hell out of that. Weeds was solid. I watched, what else did I watch? I don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest with you. Well, especially now that I got a kid. Time's busy. Like, I feel like my spare time's minimal. Like, was it 6 Feet Under? Remember watching that one? That was a good one. The Wire. Yeah, that's legendary. A reality show based in Vegas as MMA fighters. Vanderpump Rules, the MMA fighters. First, I'm ashamed I know what Vanderpump Rules is, but I do have a wife who watches all that stuff. Reality show would be good, though. Cody Merrow with the moment that it jumped the shark. Weed was great until she started sleeping with the politician who was also a drug lord. Now, Below Deck. I'm proud to say that I've never seen an episode of Below Deck. Jury Duty. I ain't even heard of that one. Oh, Eastbound and Down. That was a classic. That was a classic. Kevin Holland checking in. Jury Duty. I didn't even heard of. Been trying to talk to Bruce Buffer in a show called Buff Life. Buff Life is absolutely a reality show. But Bruce Buffer is a living reality show. Bruce Buffer should absolutely have a reality show about him. The real life superhero Kevin Holland. And man, just out here smoking weed and busting criminals, taking a fight every now and then. Eastbound and Down was hilarious. Song Yadong, Easy Money. Easy Money. Not that Ricky Simone grappling, though. Oh, I love Ted Lasso. I love Ted Lasso. It's my favorite show that I'm watching right now, probably. It's Ted Lasso. Probably, too, like, I love soccer. So, you know, it's a show around a sport I like. And then it's positive. I like positivity. There's too much negativity in the world today. I need some positivity.
Nothing to do with this early. No. What is he doing here?
Yeah, Ricky's a grinder. Hard to kill. Better gas tank. I think I'm leaning Ricky. I mean, song's dangerous. Obviously, so young, dude, so good. Like, gonna continue to be a force for a long time. But I think I like Ricky in this one. South Park. I think I've heard of it. Yes, Ishmael. I know it's called football everywhere else in the world, but I'm an American, born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Here we call it soccer, especially in Texas, bro. I mean, we got the Cowboys. We got Friday Night Lights. That's football. But yes, I understand it's called football everywhere else in the world. Everywhere else in the world also uses the metric system, but I don't use that either. My kid was doing homework last night, and it was converting inches to centimeters. And I was explaining to him how we're the only country in the world that uses our measurement system. It's so ridiculous.
Next to the scale, McCall Olachecha. Official weight 185.5 for McCall Olachecha.
All right. So just one fighter. I thought we were like getting back to a streak. So at this point, just to give a quick update before we go back to the real issue at hand, which is talking about TV shows. Song Yadong, Ricky Simon, both official. Kyle Bahayo, Mihail Oleksiejczuk, both official. For the main card, we're waiting on Cody Brundage, Marcus Rogelio de Lima, and Josh Quinlan. Interesting, they're still waiting on Quinlan when Trey Waters is the one that stepped in on short notice. From the prelim, still waiting on Jake Collier, Charles Johnson, Journey Newsom, and Jamie Landhorth. So still 7 fighters left to weigh in, but nobody's here to watch weigh-ins, right? We're all here to talk about the best TV shows. No, I'm just kidding. Why is Undisputed only on PlayStation? What is Undisputed? I don't even know what that is. Wasn't that like a UFC game back in the day? Mihail has his hands full. That's a good fight. All right, let me go. EA Sports Jedi Survivor. Oh. Denial. Is that the one that those video clips have been circling forever, like with all the old school fighters and all that stuff? I love a good boxing game. There was one back in the day. Gosh, what was it called? There was like, was it in EA Sports back in the game? There was a boxing game years and years ago, man. Hell, I might have been a teenager back then, or in my early 20s. It had like all the old school greats. I think that was an EA Sports game. I didn't know that was out on PlayStation. I might have to check that out then. I thought, yeah. It was on Steam too. I thought it was only on Steam. I thought it was only like a computer game. I didn't know they were putting it on. I don't play a lot of video games, but I do have a PS5. Hogwarts Legacy. Fight Night, EA Sports, that was it. Yeah. That was it. Dude, that had to be like in the 90s, right? That was old school. I'm old, Kevin. I'm 45. Yeah, that game was good back in the day. Cody, brutal. That's hilarious. Well, now I know it's on PS5. I might check that out this afternoon. Yeah, that game was good, dude. I remember playing the hell out of that back in the day. You know what else? I thought the gameplay in that Strike Force MMA game. I think I remember that. That was kind of fun, right? Because didn't you use like the control sticks to throw like punches and stuff? It seemed like more. I'm not a big. Again, I don't play that many video games. I got Hogwarts Legacy for my kid, and I actually liked watching it. He played it. It's too complicated for me. I let him play it. I just watched it like I was watching a movie. I try to. I mean, I maybe like gave him some hints every now and then. Might have to go back to play that for a little while. Shit, Cody Merrow, 2K. Bro, first years in boxers, they're making like $100 a round, bro. Love Bilal Gilbert, but with Leon Colby likely not having it fall, does winner Bilal just wait until next spring to fight champ? I think so. Yeah. I think Bilal and well, knowing those two guys, they don't want to sit around and wait till spring. That's a good question, actually. Could they? Could the winner of that sit around and wait for the winner of that fight to happen? Probably. Will they? Those two dudes hate sitting around. Those two dudes both know they deserve the title shot, too, though. That's a tough one. Buffalo chicken slice. I like it. Kevin, no, I don't bet. So I don't like to gamble, to be honest with you, because when I lose money, I hate it. I effing hate it. This is the thing I always tell people, like, man, I could go out to a bar, steakhouse, have a nice dinner, cigar, drinks, drop some serious cash, and feel just fine about it. I lose $100 at a table playing blackjack, and I want to kill somebody. I'm just like, what the fuck? I hate it. So that's just playing cards and dice and stuff like that. As far as betting fights, I don't bet fights just because because I think of that connection to it, I'm not able to detach myself from the money. So if I'm going to go on Twitter or I'm going to write a story or I'm going to do whatever or talk on a podcast about that was a bad decision or that was this, but I have money attached to it, at that point, I don't think my opinion is unbiased. Like, I have money attached to it, money that matters to me. And so that's why I've never bet on fights. I mean, I have bet on fights, but that's why I don't do it. Because I just feel like it invalidates my opinion. Now, I'll tell you what, this whole James Krause situation, I find interesting, right? Because I'll be honest with you, until that lawsuit was happening, I didn't know, like, insider information was a thing in sports gambling. Like, I thought that just made you smart. Like, if you know stuff that other people don't, that's your edge. I didn't realize that was illegal. I mean, which kind of makes sense. But it does make me wonder about media members. And I don't talk about it a lot because I know a lot of media members supplement their income with wagering. But it's interesting, right? Like, if you're going to a gym and you're interviewing fighters and coaches and you're seeing practices and all that stuff, now that I know that insider information thing is a deal, like, should that be allowed? I'm kind of curious about that. Like, and again, I'm not trying to bring this up to ruin anybody's game or whatever, but I just wonder, like, if the whole thing, like, again, I'll be honest with you, until the whole Krause situation, I didn't know there was an issue. But apparently anything that's non-public information is supposed to eliminate you from wagering. So, I don't know. Anyway, just discussion. Yeah, Cody Merrill. That's the only gambling I do when I can get that free beer at Dino's. Zach's up 55 units this month. 55 units in a month. I meant to talk about this. Cody is funny. I meant to talk about it on the road show, and I forgot just because we were scrambling. But so I covered the last PFL in Vegas, and PFL on their media credential, on their media list. God, what do they call it? I don't want to say behavior, media guidelines, maybe I think it was called. But they actually did put on there that you are not allowed to bet on the fights, which I think is 100% true. Like, if you're covering a show as a media member, I don't believe you should be gambling on it. I actually completely agree with that situation. But that's the first organization I've ever seen put it on there specifically telling you not to gamble on the fights. And I did wonder when I saw it if it's something that'll be more commonplace. Mike, howdy. Interesting. No, and Kevin, I'm not trying to defend or like I'm just saying like the information. Like I just wonder where the limit is, you know. Zach. Sorry, I had a little text message I had to get to there. I see. I agree with that too. The whole like betting on yourself. I have no issue with a fighter betting on themselves. I mean that's, but I think I don't think the issue is whether they bet on themselves or not. I think it's just the look of like a fighter going to a sports book and what's he doing in there, and the slippery slope of other stuff. But I 100% agree. Like if a fighter wants to put his purse on himself, like good for you. You know what I mean? Like you're just betting. I mean, legit. I mean, we use that as a phrase in society, right? Like, hey, man, I bet on myself. Like always bet on yourself. So I have no problem with that. All right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Kevin, that's a good point. If you're a big favorite to finish the guy, you can bet on yourself to win by decision and let him survive. See, there you go. There's the damn slippery slope of why, yeah, of why it becomes an issue. It's actually a really good point. Harlem UG. Agreed. Look, Cody and I have been working. That's kind of what we want the site to become, to be honest with you. That's kind of the ultimate vision. There's some things that we got to get done along the way, but I would love for it to be a place that can host like creator content and, you know, let people get more eyeballs on things that they're trying to put out there. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. Much love, Justin Villegas. What's going on? Oscar Lars says, with Rob Drick is fighting at UFC 290, is he wanting to be active? Is he fighting at 205 for meantime? Makes sense. I mean, it does. It doesn't make sense for him to fight anybody else in the division. I'm just wondering, like, what fight. I wanted to look at the light heavyweight rankings and see if any fights stand out to me that make sense, where you just be like, I gotta see that.
They've landed.
I just don't know what the matchup would be.
Their brains are all scrambled.
Because, I mean, you look at it like, okay. I mean, if you're saying go up and fight Jamal, I mean, if it's go up and fight for the belt, I guess. I'm wondering the other matchups, if there's anything that really makes sense.
I don't think they're coming back.
Yeah.
Neither one of them.
Because they're like 2 pounds over, right?
One of them was like 4.
Yeah.
One of them was 1.5. But the 1.5, if they win so early, there's no reason they're clearly they know
There you go, Cody.
they would have just kept cutting. You're not.
We want to be the Players Tribune, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's scroll up. Why you gotta call him the fraud? You really thought Kevin Holland was jumping in?
And then the other two that they played
Yes, Kevin Holland. It does usually take this long. It takes about 2 hours, especially when you have heavyweights. Especially when you have heavyweights here at the Apex. Again, that's the Andre Arlovsky policy, because they have to do the face-offs at 11, and they don't usually do them earlier. So if you're a heavyweight and you're not really cutting weight, there's no reason to show up early, because then you just got to stand around and wait. Abe, they based on health and safety, basically. So they'll cancel fights, like if somebody's like, I mean, if it looks like somebody's passing out and stuff like that. There is a guideline and weight difference, but I don't think they'll cancel these fights.
or look apologetic.
Exactly. Now, the Andre Arlovsky policy means that you do get to have coffee, croissant. If you were a matchmaker at 185, what would you do? Okay, if I'm a matchmaker at 185, the first thing I do is cancel Whitaker and Drickus. Because I just want to see the heat. I want to see Izzy and Drickus go at it. Now, I think I don't know how far. I mean, they've been talking about this Africa fight forever, but like, I mean, they got to do Izzy and Drickus in Africa when they do the Africa debut, right? I mean, can you imagine the heat around that? Now, I don't know if maybe you don't want to do that fight in Africa because it's your first one there, and like I can imagine the political and racial undertones behind that would not be popular. So maybe it would be a little too dangerous to do it there. But I don't know, man. The thought of like that fight happening in Africa seems to be like, you talk about a fight that would elevate beyond just yeah. I don't know. Part of me thinks it's a terrible idea, and part of me thinks it's an amazing idea.
Yeah, it's a city I want to visit.
Yeah, that 4 pounds is rough. I think they're gonna let it happen. They haven't said anything yet. Normally they say it pretty quick, especially because the opponents weighed in as well. You know, if Arena came in at 140 and Edgar hadn't weighed in yet, then I think maybe you would try to call. And this is why communication is so important. If you're going to miss weight, communicate with your opponent, with the organization, with everybody. And this is at all levels of the sport, not just the UFC. Communicate. I know it's embarrassing. I know it's frustrating. But the thing is, like, because the commission could absolutely cancel it. If you want to make sure that your fight doesn't get canceled, communicate it. Because Edgar weighed in first at 135, and then Alexieva came in at 140.
We're staying in a hotel that has
If
mall attached.
Alexieva knew that she was going to be 140 and she'd have told Edgar last night, like, hey, by the way, I'm sorry, here's what's going on, I'm not going to make it, then Edgar could cut less and ensure that the weight difference was minimal and that the fight didn't get canceled. I don't think the UFC hasn't said anything, the commission hasn't said anything, so I think it's going to be okay. But there was, there is a danger of it. But I mean, I think it's going to happen. But that's why it's so important to communicate with with the opposing team and with the organization, so that you can let your opponent know. And if you're going to miss, maybe your opponent can miss too, and they can cut less. Yeah. See. See, you guys are feeling me, right? Like, on the one hand, like, it's real heat, but the thing I always say, man, I don't like talking about race, religion, or family. Like, I don't believe race, religion, or family should be brought into build up, and I guess that would definitely be it. I mean,
Because I remember I took a picture.
I don't think Drake is meant for it to be a racial issue. I really don't. I don't think he meant for it to be racial, but how can it not be? You know what I mean? Like, how can it not be? Given the history of everything that's happened there, so.
Yeah, you remember your logistics.
No, Abe, I don't know that she didn't communicate. I'm just saying, like, it's just a point that I've seen over the years, and again, at all levels. She may have communicated. Maybe Edgar was like, I don't care, I'm making 135, and that's your fault, because as you said, I believe she's had multiple weight misses, so maybe she was like, I'm making 135 anyway. So I don't know that she didn't, but it's just a point that I like to stress, that if it's better off to make sure that you're in touch with everybody, including your opposition, because if the weight miss is too drastic, or the weight difference is too drastic, a lot of times that means the fight can get canceled. All right. Speaking of the commission, the Honorable Jeff Mullen walking back to the scale. So it looks like maybe we'll get back to action. Just to recap real quick, here's who we're waiting on. For the main card, we're waiting on Cody Brundage, Marcus Rogelio de Lima, and Josh Quinlan. From the undercard, we're waiting on, preliminary card, we're waiting on Jake Collier, Charles Johnson, Journey Newsom, and Jamie Lynn Horth. So we're waiting on 7 fighters at this point.
Next to the scale, Josh Quinlan. Official weight 169 pounds for Josh Quinlan. Next to the scale, Jamie Lynn Horth. Official weight 135 and a half for Jamie Lynn Hort. Next to the scale, Jake Collier. Official weight 265 and a half for Jake Collier.
All right. Oh, look. Getting right back to it. Down to just 4 at this point.
Next to the scale, Journey Newson. Official weight 138 and a half for Journey Newson.
That is a catch weight, so he does have the right to do that. Just a reminder that it is a catch weight, so that's not a weight miss. If you were about to be like, why are you getting all excited? You just missed weight. No, he did not. Remember, that was the late replacement with Marcus McGee, and that was moved up to 140. Which, that's pretty interesting. I mean, the change was made, I think, Tuesday? But he's still under that 140, so I wonder how light he really walks around at.
We were saying Marco Rogero, Desnima, Pedal. He was like, gave me mama.
Oh!
Good thing your bag's there. You ruined my bag.
Whoa. I don't know if that caught in the frame or not, but Cold Coffee, my man Kenny Hathaway, his tripod just tipped over. Thankfully, it hit the side of the stage, and it kept it from falling all the way to the ground. And there was actually a bag there, too, because he has some very, very expensive gear. On top of that, like, I'm rocking with like a $400 camera body and like my whole setup's like $1,000 probably. When I look at my camera, my lens, my mic, all that, it's probably like $1,000, $1,500, somewhere in there. His is like, I want to say like 10,000. Let me ask him real quick.
Down goes Frazier. I might have cried and just went home after that.
Oh, I hope people saw that on the live stream.
It did. It caught just the corner of my live stream. It caught just the corner. Kenny, how much gear is that? Like 10 G's?
At least.
Yeah. He said at least 10 G's.
No worries. We're good.
Yeah.
You good?
But it's fine. Bro, it felt like the exact right
Man, his-
angle. Yeah, at least 10 G's.
I feel like
Whew.
tethered to the table. And
You got the hour?
Fortunately, he's okay. It looks like I guess one of the tripod legs failed or something. Minor heart attack. Coffee up here. All right, back to the chat. Whew, I was feeling bad for him, dude. Actually, I'm still watching. I'm still monitoring his health. Whew. Yeah, fortunately, it was not a person. Richard Noggin. Wow. Oh my God. I mean, obviously, I feel bad for anybody, but like, obviously, cold coffee's my friend, and I know how expensive his gear is. Whew. All right. You saw him in the frame going after it. Oh man. I'm going to have to go back and watch that on tape. Wow, that was almost bad. All right, what I miss here? People who screamed during the weigh-ins. Yes, Richard Noggin, I'm happy to be back. It's been a while, man. Travel schedule, other gig. It's nuts, but oh. Simon Head's with us. He saw it. Oh, God. I feel bad. So, guy, it looks like he's resetting everything right now, but it looks like he's okay. Scrolling back up a little bit, I did see KG going back to welterweight. I mean, that would be some lifestyle changes for him for sure, but I love it. I love it. I've always felt like, again, it's a bad thing because, like, weight cutting sucks, and weight cutting can completely deplete you, but Kelvin's just not a big dude. There's some monsters at 185. I mean, Alex Pereira obviously going to 205 now, but guys like that, they're just huge. So I like the idea of him going to 170. Could be a lifestyle change. I mean, if it's simply a matter that he's gonna, well, I'll just cut 25 pounds, the day of, like, that ain't good. But I don't think that'll be the case. I think he has a better opportunity for success there. So I'm happy for that.
So then trying to troubleshoot that while still shooting.
Harlem UG will check the DMs for sure.
Now I'll probably get a message from
Justin thought I spilled the bong water. That's probably what it sounded like. Like, Abe, yeah, we've gotten no update on that. I was actually going to ask Brendan to see if he could go over there.
How are you?
There's nobody here from PR right now to ask. I'm looking around the room. I was actually going to ask Brendan to ask the commission. Galactus, tell your mods not to time me out today. You think we have mods on this chat? Let me see. I see Jeff over there. Let me see if I can go ask him. Hang on, I'll go back. No more cutting from either of them. Now, so no update on whether the fights will happen or what the weight percentages will be. Obviously, we're talking about Arena Alexieva and Haley Cowan. They both missed weight, 140, 137 and a half. But I did just go talk to promotion representatives, and they will no longer be cutting at this time. So we'll wait to find out. I gotta think with a ring, that's got to be 30%. Haley, 1.5. I'm guessing 20%. Good Lord. Please let that fight happen. This poor woman has lost her UFC debut. I'm just thinking about that now. Oh my gosh. Zach brought it up earlier. I totally forgot. I totally forgot that we did. We did jinx it. This poor woman has been trying to have her UFC debut. Hopefully the commission approves that one. Oh, Richard Noggin. I forgot about that. That's awesome, dude. Nephew will be in the NFL draft today or tomorrow. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Props to your family. Super cool, man. We were watching a little bit of the NFL draft last night. And it's just so cool to see, like, the families, like, how proud they are. Man, everybody knows it's cool to see your kids, your family go do amazing things. To be at the highest level of something in the game, you know, like whatever that profession is, just to be at the highest level of it. So cool. I thought that was, I don't know how many people watched the draft last night, but I did thought that was a pretty cool thing that they did for the kids from Virginia, their families, man. That was obviously not to bring things down with something sad. Here we are having a little fun, talking some movies and fights and stuff, but I don't know, man. I thought that was a nice touch. Not that it makes up for the loss of your family, but just to at least see them honored, you know, to at least see them remembered. That's the thing, right? You just don't want them to be forgotten. I thought that was cool.
Jeff, what's that you say? After 18,000 shows, eventually something shit's gonna happen?
Yeah, that's not bad, dude.
Yeah, one day.
We'll give you a pass. Was it just a little?
Yeah,
Galactus.
just every once in a while, overtime. Just
There's not a mod. It's just me and Cody, bro. It's just me and Cody. It's just us. And
No, I couldn't.
I'm sitting here chatting.
Like under this, I would have to like. I just let it. Yeah.
23 MMA. I was close to my second fight, but can't make weight. Can't keep a diet. How did your first fight go? Respect to you for taking the fight. Respect to anybody that takes a fight, man.
scrum together, and then the next game row we just stopped.
Guitar Hero Tournament champion. All right. See, I can respect that. Yeah, man. NFL is the best. That's what's crazy. Like, so when I was in high school, I think I was a sophomore the year that Byron Hanspar was a senior. Stud, parade All-American, went to Tech, made it to the NFL. But, like, our entire offense was, like, Byron left, Byron right, Byron up the middle. I had a buddy that went to school with LaDainian Tomlinson as well. And it's just, like, you think about, like, they're, like, the greatest athlete, like, by far in your school and in your county and in your state or whatever, and they go to the NFL and they're like, they're all right. You know what I mean? It's the best of the best. So, crazy. Go Raiders. Raider Nation. Oh, okay. So Justin was mad it was about the Chiefs, but then he says Raider Nation. Well, then that clearly explains why. Harlan just said time him out again. Dude, how many people were out there? That was crazy. The scenes of how many people were chilling out there at the draft. Amazing, man. I'll be honest with you, that doesn't seem like a fun time to me. I mean, I guess the frosty beverages were flowing and you're hanging out with your boys or whatever, but it just looked like a big ass crowd to watch what? I don't know, man. I guess it's just a chance to put on your football jersey and drink some beers and hang out with your boys. But that seemed like an awful lot of people going and hanging out there. For what? Oh, wow. Look at that. Richard Noggin, Georgia won him. Nick Saban called him. That was awesome. Oh, I was wondering. I'm like, Galactus. We don't even have moderators, and I'm about to kick you out for saying you were at a Raiders versus Padres game. Thought Kevin Holland was fake. Galactus up in here saying he was at a Raiders Padres game. Ooh. Zach brings up a really good question. What happened with ADCC on Fight Pass? I'm actually very curious about this myself. I'm interested to see if there's some legal action that takes place moving forward. I don't know. But, I mean, I can tell you as you know, last week in Florida, like, the ad copy that we had from Fight Pass, we were reading about ADCC. I know they had already had a couple of events on there as well, so I'm really, really surprised. I'm really, really interested to hear what happened with that. That, you know, I was really excited that ADCC was going to be on Fight Pass, and now it turns out it's going back to Flow Sports. So I'm going to be really interested to see if there's any legal action that comes out of this. It's bizarre. Denial, the unofficial moderator. Enforcing shame alone. Yeah. Last year I was gonna watch the final day at ADCC. I'm kind of bummed. I should have just gone, to be honest with you. Like, super cool event. It's here in Vegas. I think it's gonna be in Vegas again the next time. I'll definitely make it out next time because I love submission grappling, and so because of that, like, I love seeing ADCC. But I think I was coming home. I don't remember where I was. I'm pretty sure I was traveling that day, and I just gotten home, and I kind of wanted to kick it with the family, and I was gonna buy it, and it was like, because you could, if I remember right, you couldn't even buy it as a pay-per-view, right? You had to sign up for a subscription of like $30-something a month, and I was like, that's a lot. All right, let's see. Who's left? Still waiting on Cody Brundage, Marcus Rogero de Lima, and Charles Johnson. So 3 fighters left at this point. 3 fighters left, and of course then we'll have the face-offs immediately after. Yeah, denial, right? Because I think if it was like, oh, you could just buy a pay-per-view real quick. If I remember that right, because I ended up not watching it and just, you know, watching highlights and stuff like that later, because if I remember right, like, you couldn't buy one single, like, pay-per-view alone. You had to sign up for a subscription, and the subscription was very expensive. No, the event was actually at Thomas and Mack, and I want to say that's the first time it had been in Vegas. It may have been in like years and years and years ago, but the first time in recent times it had been in Vegas. I mean, a bunch of people were there. Like I think Danny Lorenzo even ended up going for a little while. It was a big deal. Yeah, exactly. Zach, I thought it was perfect, man. Kind of lining up with all the grappling events that are on there. It made sense. But denial. I did not see Chatri poke at Gordon Ryan. Oh, looks like we're back. I see Charles Johnson off to the left. We'll see how many of the three we have left.
Next to the scale, Charles Johnson. Official weight 125.5 for Charles Johnson.
Okay, so I guess just Charles Johnson at the moment. So that means our prelims are official. Now, oh, hold on. Security staying in place. I guess we have somebody else coming.
Next to the scale, Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Official weight 262.5 for Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Is that right?
Okay, so just one left now. Just waiting on Cody Brundage. Just to recap for anybody that maybe didn't hear, we did hear that Haley Cowan and Marcus McGee, sorry, not Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee's good. Sorry, so we got the two 140s next to each other. Haley Cowan and Irina Alexieva are not going to continue to cut. We don't know yet the status of their bouts. Guessing they're going to be okay. Hoping they're going to be okay. Imagine Irina, that's going to be a 30% fine, but we'll find out. Yeah, Marcus McGee 140, Jerry Newsom 138.5, but that was an agreed upon catch weight ahead of time because of the late notice replacement. Pazal just woke up. Gordon Ryan, not the popular figure here. Yeah, scrolling back up. CFFC grappling is the best. That's right, Cody Merrow. Tune in May 27th. May 27th, yes. May 27th. The return of Fury Grappling at 2300 Arena, Philadelphia, PA. I don't believe there's a UFC that weekend, so just tune in for some Fury Grappling. We got you. We got you. Gary Tonin, he's fun as well. Zach, I think we're going down to just one event. We were originally going to do back-to-backs, but I think there was some scheduling conflict issues. I know you're always there. I think we're just doing 27th. I'm not exactly sure what popped up. I think there was some scheduling issues, and we had to move some things around. BC Dave, yes, I will be in Vancouver. I need to get that flight booked. Yeah, I need to get that travel booked. Actually, I'll do that later today. But yeah, I'm planning on being there that weekend in Vancouver. And the live weigh-ins in Vancouver, since it's a pay-per-view, there'll usually be official weigh-ins and ceremonial weigh-ins. So if you want to come hang out at the official weigh-ins are not exactly the most exciting thing to do as a fan. Obviously, we enjoy these chats. It is cool because you're like really close to the fighters and like around everything, but there's not like chairs for you. There's not like concessions. But those usually start at 9 a.m. local at the UFC host hotel. They usually, for the most part, are open to the public, but hardly any public ever comes to them. Just because, like I said, it's not the most fantastic viewer experience ever. Especially when you can jump in a live chat with John Morgan. No, I'm just kidding. But then the ceremonial weigh-ins will probably be they're almost always locally at 4 p.m. Local time. Usually at the arena, if they can get the arena. If there's a conflict with something else going on, then they'll have it like a theater or something like that nearby. But all that information will be available the day of. But both events are absolutely open and free. So even if you can't get tickets, you can go hang out that. Generally speaking, like on Thursday night, there's a press conference, usually around like 4 or 5 p.m. local time. So if you can do that, there you go. I'm talking about trying to get you to free events, BC Dave, and you got floor tickets. Sheesh. Ryan Hall is staying out until Polaris in June. Interesting. Ryan Hall and Crone to fight. That'd be a great fight. That would be fun. I saw Ryan Hall dinner with Ryan Hall actually in Colombia. The show that I did with Empire MMA. The night that I flew home, the day after the event, he was actually getting into town because he went and did a couple of seminars in Colombia, and basically to celebrate the announcement of Empire was doing some grappling down in South America as well. And so Ryan came in and did some seminars and stuff. So we just overlapped. We just met for dinner. Big group of us, like 7 or 8 of us. Talked to him briefly. It was fun chatting with him. And we shot the shit about everything, but I didn't ask him about his fights. Ooh. Okay. Gary signed up for the UG. I appreciate that. All right. I'm down with that. We'll make something happen. That is pretty funny, Cody. I'm just, you know how I do. I just was chilling. VIP tickets worth it for $288. Depends what the VIP entails. I mean, so I don't know what the VIP packages entail, but like, there's different viewing experiences from where you are in the arena. Like if you're on the floor, like you're hobnobbing with all the VIPs, the fighters, all that. Like the best view you can get is like 3 or 4 rows off the floor. Even with the octagon, like dead center, 3 or 4 rows up. That's the best view. Just because you're like even with the canvas and you're looking straight into the cage. But truthfully, no matter where you are, and it's just the reality like of the sport, no matter where you're seated, you're going to have to end up looking at the screens at some point to see it, just because of the different angles and the posts and all that. Like even when I'm at a pay-per-view and I'm sitting like 6 feet from the cage, dead center, like I still end up looking at the screens and stuff. So But the floor tickets, that's when you get to be like, oh, there's celebrities and there's fighters and there's all that you can take pictures with and hang out and that sort of stuff. Now, if the VIP includes like an open bar, I mean, at T-Mobile Arena, I think the beers are like $18 now or something like that. Crazy. And I mean, I can get a couple $100 worth. So you can get some money back there. Yeah, it's to be honest, if you can get a couple rows up off the floor, that's actually the best viewing angle you can get. But like I said, like even if you're sitting behind Anik, like I guarantee, like again, I mean, when I commentate for CFFC and I'm sitting right next to the cage at times, like you still end up looking at a monitor. Like you're never gonna have the perfect viewing experience, like unobstructed, just because the angles of the cage, the posts, all that stuff, when they're on the floor. So you're gonna end up looking up, but when you're down on the floor, that's when you're like next to the VIPs, and if you're into that. My problem is like I don't recognize anybody that's not a fighter. Like my wife knows, like, oh, that's that movie actor, that's this, that. I'm like, I have no idea. And nowadays, man, the VIPs are getting. I mean, it's crazy how popular the UFC is getting among like celebrities and stuff like that. Yeah, Justin, even the fighters look up at the screen. So true. Yeah, there you go. Honestly, first few rows at 200, 300 level are good too. Harlem, you hit it. You go to the pay-per-view for the people and the energy, right? Like that's so well said. You're absolutely right about that. Like the best viewing experience is on your TV at home, right? Because you get multiple camera angles, you get the commentary, you get everything. So I mean, that's when you're in the building. You're in the building because you want to hear that roar of the crowd. You want to hear the cheer. You want to feel that energy during the walkouts and all that stuff. You're so right. So don't spend more money than you have to. Don't spend more money than you're comfortable with. Yeah, just have fun. My recliner is perfect viewing. Exactly. Yeah, so Cody at 2300. So we've actually started to set that up kind of different. We're a little bit off. We're on like a raised platform, so we do that at 2300, and we started to do that at some of the other venues as well. It's actually easier for everybody involved, production included. So we're not actually like right up against it. We're set back just a little bit. Still very viewable, live angle. Yeah, we actually just did that in Florida as well. At the Hard Rock, we set it back a little bit. BC Dave, kid to the floor of the experience. That'll be awesome, man. That'll be awesome. Drink my favorite whiskey at my price and go to bed. Sports bars are great. Obviously, it's been a while since I've been to a sports bar to watch a pay-per-view, but my thing back in the day used to be like some dumbass just pretending like they know what they're talking about and trying to explain things to everybody. And like I want to just shut up and mind my business and not care, but like they're saying something stupid and you want to like tell the other people like, bro, this dude has no idea what he's talking about right now. Like this is what's really happening, or this is what's really up for grabs, or this is what's really like. And I know in my head I should just shut up and not care. But there's something in me that's like, oh, but this dude is saying something stupid. Yeah, exactly what Denal just said. Too many uninformed fans and casuals. I get pissed, and I shouldn't get pissed. I should just sit there and be like, whatever. Well, Denal, you have made me feel better. I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while, man. But yeah, going to like B-dubs back in the day to watch them. Sporting the Affliction shirt. Well done, Zach. UFC hates Philly, New Jersey. So you know what's funny, Zach, is I'll be honest with you, I don't understand why they don't do Philly. Although I did see Dave Schaller, obviously Dave Schaller's a good friend of mine, former UFC PR, now working with the Sixers. I did see him like saying in Twitter the other day like how busy like the schedule of that venue is. Like obviously you're from the area, so I don't really know. So maybe it's just hard for them to get a date in Philly. Maybe it's just hard for them to get a date. Now I know with New Jersey, now obviously they're doing the Prudential Center, but it's the first time they've done the Prudential Center in forever. But it's just because like you're essentially marketing to the same people you're marketing Madison Square Garden, right? So you know, and now that they've been going to like they're trying to do like MSG and Barclays every year, that makes Prudential Center kind of tough because it's essentially like the same people. Because that's the thing, right? It's like why they don't go to Phoenix a whole lot, or they don't go to, you know, they did have a deal with LA for a while. Obviously, LA is a big enough market, but like Phoenix is tough because it's a lot of the same people that you're marketing like Vegas events to as well. So you get it. Like you just want to make sure that you're not hitting a market too many times, so that it makes it a struggle for you to sell tickets, you know?
Where are they right now?
That's a funny story, Harlan. Oh, you didn't notice. That's a good story. That's pretty funny. That's the best. That's the best when people start trying to talk to you about stuff. Oof. Yeah. People in general are more well educated. I bet you're right, Galactus. Like I said, it's been a while, but I bet you're right. I bet it's. I mean, I know more people are watching. More people are watching more of it. So maybe less MMA bro talk at the bars these days. Oof. Baltimore. Yeah, that's been a long time. Olaf. Bro, that's an old school name right there. That dude was a fighter. Wow, that's an old school name. Good reference there, man. Yeah, exactly. Not talk to you about it, but tell you how it is. That's the worst. Zach Daves would led you to CFFC. That's cool. Yeah, it was always great. Was always great working with Dave, man. Back in the days, WEC, then UFC. Obviously, probably most famously, the guy that was in the middle of John Jones and Daniel Cormier during their incident. Oh man, I laugh now, but there's some people got hurt in that. Manish, what's going on? Denial, you're talking dude with the crooked nose. Yep, that's the one. That's the right one. Manish Mims, is PFL buying Bellator? I have not gotten anybody on record to say that yes, it's happening. I kind of don't. My gut tells me no, that's not accurate. But you know, I do believe that Bellator, you know, from discussions I've had, was looking for some potential investment partners. You know, not to sell the whole thing, but to bring in maybe like a minority stakeholder, especially somebody that has like a strategic partnership. My understanding is that those discussions were absolutely being had. Again, not to sell the whole thing, but to get an influx of capital and also, you know, a strategic partner, somebody that could help them kind of move forward, that sort of thing. Now, could discussions like that happen and then they escalate and somebody ends up taking, you know, well, hey, if you're willing to sell 10% at this price, how about we buy 100 at this price, or 51% or 55? You know, maybe that's. Sorry, the overhead monitor had an unexpected Megan O'Leary hit. Um, hijinks in the background, people. Production hijinks. So it's I could see it happening. You know, like I said, you enter into a discussion with somebody, you want 10% sold for this much, and they're like, well, how about at that valuation we just buy 60% of it or 100% of it? Could I see that happening? Yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm just struggling to see like what the benefit would be. The roster, of course, but then they can't even, like, PFL under their current format can't even support that many fighters. They don't, unless they're, yeah, it just doesn't make, I'll be honest, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But we'll see. Iclops, that's the card. I mean, no disrespect to this to anybody fighting on this UFC event. Like, obviously, and that's the thing. I hate disrespecting cards as a whole, because, like, to everybody that's on it, like, this is the biggest moment of their life. This is the biggest moment of their career. This is you know what I mean? But I will say, from a fan interest perspective, that BKFC card is sick. You know, it is a pay-per-view this weekend, so that's important to point out. Like, it is $50 this weekend. I do believe, at least I heard, now it's gonna sound stupid. Ben Rothwell told me, he said he thinks they were sending out codes to subscribers to give them a lower price for the pay-per-view. So if you're a subscriber, check your email. Maybe you got a code to get it cheaper. But so, you know, it does suck. It's a pay-per-view, obviously, but I'm gonna watch it. Like, I'm gonna have it pulled up. I mean, I'll be at the Apex on Saturday, but I'm gonna have that thing pulled up on my computer. That's awesome. I mean, Mike Perry, Luke Rockhold, Chad Mendes, Eddie Alvarez, Beck Rollins, Christine Fajea, Ben Rothwell, Josh Copeland. I mean, Chris Camozzi's on there against Dan Spahn. I mean, it's a card for us. It's a card for MMA fans. Oh, there you go. See? Yep. Half off for being a member. Exactly. There you go. And yeah, Galactus said, have to buy this one to support the fighters. Boom. There you go, Galactus. Email customer service and they'll give you a promo code. Okay, see, now you're talking. $25. I mean, that's nothing. Got to. There you go, half off. See, I didn't see the email. I'm a subscriber too, but so I gotta check my email. I'm not gonna lie, I get behind on stuff sometimes. My email box is kind of busy. I'll have to check my email box too, because I want to pay $25 if I don't have to pay $50. Yeah, Chad Mendes. This is. I mean, this was for us. This weekend's pay-per-view at BKC is for us. So, and you know. That's the frustrating thing. Like everybody talks about fighter pay. Like, man, fighters deserve to make more. Fighters deserve to make more. And it's like, cool. Well, the pay per view's $50 this week. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's like, well, where do you think the money's coming from that they need to make more money? It's got to be us paying it. So, money shot Mendes. I didn't see it yesterday. Man, I was running a bunch of errands yesterday trying to catch up on some like real life stuff outside of work. But I saw like a tweet or something that I guess Luke was saying, like, hey, you know, you don't know what to expect from me. Like, I'm a mystery. And Mike was like, what's the mystery? It's either a left or a right. Like, I love Mike Perry, man. He's great. He's so great. And it seems to be in a good place. Like, mentally, man, it seems like to be in a really good place now. Go watch it with Dana. That's funny. I don't know if he watches bare knuckle. Now I know he watches boxing. If there's a big boxing match on, and there's a pay-per-view going on, like, he will have the boxing match pulled up. Like, Dana still does follow boxing. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think, I'm guessing he doesn't watch bare knuckle, if I had to guess. What? Children of the future, teach them right, show them the beauty they possess inside, but really some are going to suck and no good. Oh, man.
Calm down.
Luke's fun, man. Luke the trip. Any reflection on Ryan's loss? We were talking about that. I was actually, Mark Ratner was here before the weigh-in started, and we were talking about that. You know, a lot of people giving him grief, man, but that's how we've seen that shot, man. You get hurt, it shuts you down. So I have no issues. More than anything, man, I have props to Ryan and Gervonta for putting that fight on. Like, that's the fight that doesn't happen so many times because young guys don't want to put their reputation on the line, don't want to put their O on the line. And it's happened so many times in so many years in boxing, and the fight doesn't happen. And so, more than anything, man, I was just happy that they did it. And kind of went the way I thought it would go, to be honest with you. But I have no issue. I know a lot of people trying to say Ryan quit, et cetera, et cetera. I don't buy that. And I say props to both those dudes for putting that fight on, man. That was fun. That was exciting. That's what we want to see. That's what for years everybody has said, right? Why did the UFC succeed? Because all those fights happen. Everybody has to fight. And in boxing, people seem to avoid fights for too long. And they didn't here. So I loved it. Yeah. Gervonta is good. And yeah, it's 185. I think on the website it said 175 if I remember right, but it's 185. Commission moving back in place, so it looks like we may have our final weigh-in with Cody Brundage, and then face-offs will follow.
Next to the scale, Cody Brundage. Official weight 185 and a half for Cody Brundage.
Interesting. I mean, normally when somebody comes in late, you think maybe they're having a bad cut, but this dude's got, it looks like he has plenty of energy, wearing a necklace, got the armband on. So maybe he just slept in today. That was the middleweight Andre Arlovski rule. All right, so to recap, that is the final weigh-in. Song Yadong, 136. Ricky Simon, 136. Main card, no issues whatsoever. Everybody made weight. Prelims, big boys. Martin Boudet, 265. Jake Collar, 265 and a half. So both of them tipping the scales. No issues. Arena Alexieva, 140. Haley Cowan, 137 and a half. We were told they will not continue cutting, so that does conclude the weigh-ins. We have not gotten any update on whether those fights are still official. I actually did just hear Brendan Fitzgerald say all fights are happening, so we'll just wait on word of the fines. I'm going to switch out lenses real quick because this lens that I have, that's as wide as it'll shoot. It's a little too tight for the weigh-ins if they move around the stage. So I'm going to switch lenses real quick. So your video stream will drop here shortly. But It's just because there's no source device. It's still stream will stay up, and the weigh-ins will be at the top of the hour. In 1 second.
Hey, Dean, I got a minute, right? I got a minute? Yeah, face-offs. Yeah, we got 2 people still in this one.
Yeah, it'll be top of the hour. All right. We're back. Let's see here. Ray Borg's a tough one, man. Obviously, a good dude. Had to battle through some circumstances outside of the cage. But, this past one, I think they tried to remake the fight at bantamweight, the day of the weigh-ins, and he didn't want to take that either. So, I think it's a situation where he just didn't necessarily want to do it anymore.
Somebody not make weight or take a long time?
Unfortunate.
You guys are done by now, right?
The last guy just finished. I don't know how many didn't make weight. I think there was 2. But they were so far over that they just didn't even try to cut. One guy was 4 pounds over.
Yeah, it was 2 of the girls.
2 of the girls.
Yeah, 2 girls missed
The
weight.
new one, right? The Russian girl or something?
She was 140 for a bantamweight fight, her first fight.
Bad way to start.
Yeah.
Bad start.
Was the other chick, she was at 1.5?
37 and a half, 1.5, yeah.
And she wasn't going to.
I mean, I wrestled.
Nah, they said
I
you
mean, I
didn't
didn't
wanna
wrestle
cut
at the level these guys wrestled, but like I never showed up like 10 pounds overweight.
Nah.
You should show up a couple of pounds and then
Force.
you just treat,
Forced a lot. It's a big miss.
Yeah, that means
It's a
like
big
where the
miss.
fuck were you 2 days ago? Like
Exactly.
20?
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna go upstairs to the control room. As soon as you guys are done, I'll come down. We gotta shoot this thing at 11.
That's going on at the same time.
Beer politics. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Those guys?
Yeah, I went there. Yeah, I forgot that you guys are doing it.
Man. Galactus.
I want to try something.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. He, I don't know. I don't know what he's dealing with outside the cage, but I think he just didn't want to fight anymore. So, what's good, Jesus? Always good to see Jesus in the house. You've never drank a light beer? Wow. Cold coffee, undefeated in the streets. Anders, how dare you, sir? You guys are crazy. Mark Fellows, what's going on, brother? Always enjoy a good one. Mark Fellows, good to have you here. Yeah. Haley Cowan, Arena Exiva, both missed weight. All fights happening, from what we've been told. So check and we're just waiting on the face-offs to start here briefly. Yeah. I see now on UFC.com, as predicted, 30% fine for Arena Alexieva, 20% fine for Haley Cowan. So pretty much what we expected to see. Luke Como hydration blend, huh? Four pounds is a big advantage. It is. Heineken is a great. Jesus, I'm leaning Ricky. I'm leaning Ricky, but I think it's a good fight. I think Song can absolutely win this fight, but I think I'm leaning Ricky. I can only hope that whoever wins will credit you for all their success. Ultimate expert analyst. Everybody has weighed in. We're just waiting for the face-offs now, and it sounds like from off to the side that they are being lined up. So it looks like we're about to get started. Heineken is a better beer in Europe than it is in the United States, per my experience. I feel like, and I don't know if it's manufactured here and it's just made differently, or if it's all shipped from there. I'm guessing not, because that doesn't seem practical. But it feels like Heineken tastes different in the United States than it does in Europe, and I find it to be a much better flavor in Europe. Nothing like a few good Yadong jokes, is there? I mean, Jesus is not giving high fives. Oh, that's a high five emoji? No, that's a praying emoji, isn't it? Oh, it's a high five? Interesting. So there's different sugars used. Oh, Iclops likes the skunky batches. Right? It's just, so they ship it all from over there, and it just gets skunky during the shipment, right? Or maybe it's the beet sugar versus the corn syrup that Moist Audio has. But you're so right. Dude, Guinness in Dublin, come on now. I'm sure somebody will be like, that's just touristy dumb shit, but nah, man. Guinness in Dublin is on point. Damn you, Denial. It's not a high five. Kobe and Dylan Dennis are dating now. Richard Noggin, what is that? I don't even know what you're referring to.
No, I thought you were here. No, it's all good. Are you here tomorrow? Or are you off? Okay, enjoy your week. All right, thanks, Jeff. See you. Hey, we didn't hear any percentages or anything.
We haven't heard anything. Sean said it's just gonna face him off and let me know.
It's tough, man.
Oh, Dennis was partying with Kobe. No comment. Hold on. How would I even Google that? Let's see. Damn it. Let's see. Meaning, all right, let's see. I'm Googling it now.
I did everything except for Fight Night. Why did the
I see it on Google. Prayer or high five? The mystery behind folded hands. Wow, there's like debates about this online. Wow, people have too much time on their hands. That's great. There's entire articles debating whether or not this is a prayer or a high five. This is great. All right. Scott McCray, thank you, brother. Always a pleasure.
Here we go,
here we
everybody.
go.
UFC Fight Night, Song versus Simone tomorrow. Prelims are on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. We begin in the women's bantamweight division. Jamie Lynn Horth takes on Haley Cowan. Up next is a catchweight bout at 140 pounds. Marcus McGee takes on Journey Newson. Up next is a women's bantamweight bout. Irina Alexeyeva takes on Stephanie Egger. Up next, we're in the flyweight division. Charles Johnson takes on Cody Durden. And our featured prelim is in the heavyweight division. Jake Collier takes on Martin Buday. Six-fight main card is on ESPN Plus. It begins in the welterweight division. Trey Waters takes on Josh Quinlan. Up next, we're in the heavyweight division. Waldo Cortez Acosta takes on Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Next, we are in the featherweight division. Fernando Padilla takes on Julian Arosa. Up next, Cody Brundage takes on Adolfo Vieira. Co-main event is in the middleweight division. Michal Olechechuk takes on Caio Bohalio. And our main event, 5 rounds in the bantamweight division. 10th ranked Ricky Simone takes on the 8th ranked contender Song Yadong. Ricky Simone and Song Yadong in our main event tomorrow. We'll see on ESPN Plus.
I mean, Yadong was in his face there, huh? The co-main event had the real heat there, for sure. It looked like security was a little bit concerned. So I think maybe there might have been a little chirping backstage. And, of course, Durden and Johnson, who we all knew was going to have some big one tension in there, certainly had it as well. So 20-30, yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, appreciate everybody enjoyed it. It had been a while. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a while. So appreciate you guys joining this morning. Enjoyed the discussion. Enjoyed the chat. Still prayer hands for me as far as I'm concerned. Might go try to grab some Five Guys after this. I'm going to watch some Shrinkage, I think is what that was called. What other recommendations do I need? If you're not watching Ted Lasso, go check that out. Get caught up. It's almost over, but it's worth it. Frosty Beverages Around, Marfello's, Jesus, Galactus. Appreciate all you guys. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. MMA Roadshow, check it out. Have some Frosty Beverages, beat KFC, UFC. See you guys.